My name is Margaret Chen, and I'm 52 years old. After 25 years of marriage to David, I thought I knew everything about the man I shared my life with. I was wrong. We met in college. David Wilson, with his easy smile and ambitious dreams, he became a successful architect. I built a career in education, eventually becoming a principal. We had 2 children, both grown now with lives of their own. Sarah was teaching in Boston. Michael worked in San Francisco. Our anniversary fell on a Saturday in October. The leaves were turning gold and crimson outside our Connecticut home. I'd planned something special, a quiet dinner at the restaurant where David proposed decades ago. But that afternoon, David came home looking exhausted. His shoulders sagged as he set down his briefcase. "Margaret," he said softly, "I'm tired. Can we just stay in tonight?" Something in his voice made me agree. Maybe he'd been working too hard. Maybe we both needed rest more than celebration, of course, I said, touching his arm. "I'll make us something simple." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Then he said he'd sleep in the guest room so his tossing wouldn't disturb me. That should have been my first clue. I couldn't sleep. The bed felt too empty. Around midnight, I heard something. A sound that didn't belong in our quiet house. A moan, low and intimate, coming from downstairs. My heart began to pound. I slipped out of bed, moving carefully down the hallway. The sounds grew clearer as I descended the stairs. They were coming from Rosie's room. Rosie Martinez had worked for us for 3 years. She was 28, beautiful and kind. She'd come from Ecuador to build a better life. I'd helped her with her English. We'd shared coffee and conversations about her dreams of going to nursing school. I trusted her completely. I trusted him completely. The door was slightly ajar. Through the gap, I could see them together. My husband of 25 years, our housekeeper, their bodies intertwined in the dim light. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Not yet. I simply stood there, watching my entire life shatter like glass. After a moment that felt like an eternity, I walked back upstairs. I sat on the edge of our bed, my bed now, and let the tears come silently. The next morning, I acted normal. I made coffee. David came down looking refreshed, cheerful even. "Feeling better?" I asked, my voice steady. "Much better," he said, kissing my cheek. "Sorry about last night. Don't worry about it," I replied. Rosie appeared, avoiding my eyes. She knew. Perhaps she'd heard my footsteps on the stairs. Perhaps she saw something in my face. I waited 3 days before I acted. 3 days of careful planning. 3 days of smiling and cooking and pretending everything was fine while my heart turned to stone. I consulted a lawyer quietly. I gathered financial documents. I took photographs of texts on David's phone while he showered. I was methodical, calm. 25 years of trust had become 25 years of evidence. Then I called my children and asked them to come home. I said it was important. On Wednesday evening, with Sarah and Michael sitting in our living room, confused and concerned, I finally spoke. "Your father is having an affair," I said simply. "With Rosie." I saw them together on our anniversary. David's face went white. Rosie, standing in the doorway with a tray of coffee, dropped it. The sound of shattering porcelain echoed through the room. Sarah started. "Let me finish," I said gently. "I'm not telling you this to hurt you. I'm telling you because you deserve the truth, and because I need you to understand what happens next." I looked at David. He couldn't meet my eyes. "I've filed for divorce," I continued. "I've documented everything. The house will be sold. Assets divided. I've already secured a new position in Portland, where I'll start fresh." "Margaret, please." David finally found his voice. "I gave you 25 years of loyalty," I said quietly. "I gave you my youth, my trust, my heart. You threw it away for excitement, for novelty, for someone young enough to be our daughter." I turned to Rosie, who was crying now. "I don't hate you," I told her honestly. "You're young. You made a terrible choice, but you didn't betray 25 years of promises." He did. The revenge I sought wasn't dramatic. It was quiet and thorough. David fought the divorce at first, but the evidence was overwhelming. His reputation in our community, built on being a devoted family man, crumbled quickly. Word spread the way it does in small towns. His firm asked him to take a leave of absence when clients started requesting different architects. Turns out, people who hire you to design their family homes care about your character. I didn't spread the rumors. I didn't have to. Truth has its own way of traveling. The house sold quickly. I took my half of everything and moved to Portland. Sarah helped me find a beautiful apartment with a view of the water. Michael flew out twice to help me settle in. But here's what surprised me most. 2 months after the divorce was finalized, Rosie called me. Mrs. Wilson, I mean Miss Chun, she said, her voice shaking. I need to tell you something. We met at a coffee shop. She looked thinner, tired. He left me, she said simply. As soon as the divorce was done, he said we should take a break. He's already seeing someone else. Someone from his office. I should have felt satisfaction, vindication. Instead, I felt sad. I'm sorry, I said, and I meant it. Why? She asked, tears streaming. Why are you sorry? I destroyed your marriage. No, I corrected gently. David destroyed my marriage. You were just the person he chose to do it with. If not you, it would have been someone else eventually. I reached across the table and took her hand. You're young enough to learn from this. Don't let shame define you. Go to nursing school. Build the life you dreamed of. Be better than this moment. She cried harder then. And somehow, sitting with her, I found my own healing beginning. A year later, my life looks nothing like I imagined. But it's mine. I teach part-time at a community college. I volunteer at a women's shelter. I've made new friends who know me as Margaret, not as David's wife. Not as anyone's mother. Just as myself. Sarah visits often. Michael calls every Sunday. They've both rebuilt relationships with their father, slowly and carefully. I'm glad. He's still their father, even if he's no longer my husband. Last week, I received a card from Rosie. She's enrolled in nursing school. She's dating someone her own age. She thanked me for my kindness. I put the card on my refrigerator. People ask if I'll date again. Maybe someday. But right now, I'm learning something more important: how to be complete on my own. How to trust myself again. How to find joy in simple things. The betrayal hurt more than I can express. The anger lasted months. But revenge, I learned, isn't about destruction. It's about refusing to let someone else's choices destroy you. It's about building something new from the ruins. It's about choosing kindness, even when you've been shown cruelty. And it's about understanding that sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. My name is Margaret Chun. I'm 53 now, and I'm finally truly free.